was a beast! Ah!
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Not the Bees, the Nicolas Cage filmography podcast. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Megs.
And this week we watched 2014's Tokarev, also known as Rage, but if you search for it as Rage, you will not find it. It's got 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is written and directed by Paco Cabezas. Paul McGuire, who is our beloved Nick Cage, Paul McGuire and his buddies Kane and Danny live a life of crime as members of a branch of the Irish mob. One night, they ambush a Russian mobster, intercepting him when he's on his way to drop off money to his boss. The cash is enough for Paul to leave the life of crime and go legit, but their crime sets off a bloody, protracted war between the Irish crime family and the Russian mob. Paul instructs his friends to hide the money until things calm down between their outfit and the Russians. In spite of several casualties on both sides, their plan works well. 5 years after stealing the money, Paul, Kane, and Danny meet to split up their earnings. Over the next 20 years, Paul uses his share to slowly build a legitimate construction empire in Mobile, Alabama. He marries a beautiful, ambitious young woman named Vanessa and is a doting father to his teenage daughter, Caitlin. His former mob boss, O'Connell, has allowed him to go legit and stays on speaking terms, but he remains friends with his buddies Kane and Danny, who haven't had his luck when it comes to reforming. One night, Paul and Vanessa are heading to a charity dinner, leaving Caitlin at home to hang out with her friends Evan and Mike. At the dinner, Mobile PD Detective St. John approaches Paul, who told him that Caitlin is missing. Evan and Mike tell the police and Paul that they were watching TV with Caitlin when several masked men barged in and took her. They fought, but the men overtook Mike and Evan. Convinced the kidnapping is long overdue retaliation for the crimes of his youth, Paul ignores the police and enlists Kane and Danny to help his own investigation. Paul's patience with the police ends completely when Caitlin's body is found in a storm drain. After her funeral, O'Connell strongly suggests that Paul allow the police to handle the investigation, saying that Paul was allowed to walk out of the mob and therefore he should stay away from mob methods. Paul and his buddies shake down and rough up anyone they can find who might be connected to Chernov, the legendary mob boss whose money they stole 17 years earlier, believing that they are involved in Caitlin's murder. O'Connell pleads with Paul to stop his rampage, but he refuses. Vanessa, who initially backed her husband's search, now fears he's becoming the killer he once was. After executing some of Chernov's men and wrecking their business, Paul and his buddies are targeted by Chernov. When Kane is captured and tortured, he tries to get Chernov to admit to killing Caitlin as revenge for the heist decades ago. Chernov is perplexed, but also angry that Paul did the crime, as the Russian mobster they killed turned out to be Chernov's brother. Meanwhile, Paul thinks Danny ratted them out because he is directly working for O'Connell and his use of drugs and parties. The two fight, resulting in Paul accidentally killing Danny with a knife in a moment of wrath. Chernov arranges a meet with O'Connell, explains Paul's part in starting the long-ago gang war, and demands O'Connell exact discipline. O'Connell refuses to listen to Chernov on general principles and engages in a shootout, leaving Chernov as the only survivor. Paul finds a Tokarev pistol in his closet, a relic from the robbery that started the war years ago. He finally gets the real story from Mike. While drinking and horsing around with his guns that night, Mike accidentally shot his daughter, then created the kidnapping story in a panic. After an internal struggle, Paul allows Mike to live and walk away. Returning home, Paul phones his wife, apologizing and saying things will be over soon as Chernov and some of his surviving men enter his house. He then tells her the story about the first time he killed, when someone gave him a knife in a bar fight. He stabs himself as he watches men entering the room with guns pointed at him. Paul is shot and killed. Vanessa reaches home only to witness policemen taking Paul's body out with teary eyes. The end. Megan, what did you think of this?
It was kind of boring.
It was kind of boring.
And really circular because like his daughter ended up being killed by a weapon that he had in his own home.
Right.
And he didn't even think to check. When he found out that it was a Russian gun that killed her, he didn't even think to check.
No, he leaps immediately to the mob. How about my favorite piece of casting is Peter Stormare as an Irish mobster.
Yeah, no, that
An
annoyed the crap out of me.
Irish mobster.
Not that I don't absolutely adore Peter Stormare, because I do absolutely adore that man. He shows up in random areas, but he is very Swedish. He's very Swedish, like more Swedish than like Alexander Skarsgård, because he can't get rid of the accent. He's not Irish. And to have made him Irish in this movie was so silly to me. And also in a wheelchair. Like, his presence was still there, but like Peter Stormare in a wheelchair as an Irishman.
In fact, the only scene that I really liked was the scene where Chernoff goes to O'Connell and is like, I know what started the war between us. I know what put you in that wheelchair.
Yeah.
And we have a chance to squash this beef. You need to go exact some discipline.
Right. And he's like,
that
no,
was a really
not gonna
good
do
scene.
it, bro. It was a really good scene. I also enjoyed the scene where, was it Danny that got, no, not Danny.
Kane.
Who was, got kidnapped by Chernov and tortured. Yeah. That scene was actually pretty good. And the guy that plays Chernov is Pasha D. Lichnikov. He's it's that guy.
In everything.
In everything. He is always a Russian mobster. Always, always, always. And he always is fucking perfect in it. Yeah. His character honestly was the only one that really felt real. Like, even Nick Cage's character as McGuire did not feel real. Also, I was convinced the entire time up until the end that it was the wife. Because none of the other shit that he was going through made any sense at all. None of the things that he was doing made any sense. It only made sense that it was close to home. Yeah. And it was close to home. It just wasn't the wife. Because she seemed really cold. I don't know.
I didn't think this movie was very good. I was shocked when they killed her, because at first they presented it as a kidnapping. Yeah. And I thought, okay, it's going to be kind of like Taken. He's going to go,
that's exactly what I thought it was too.
Until he gets his daughter back. But then very quickly they find her dead in a storm drain. And I was kind of like, oh, holy shit, they killed her. Okay. All right. Everything that follows from that really doesn't sit very well. None of it feels very grounded. No. I did not understand. I mean, I guess he's being tortured, but why Kane starts blabbing to Chernoff at all?
I don't know. I mean, I imagine like these aren't like, specially trained people. Like, they're just like sort of bagmen. One of like the lowest ranking like members in like the mob that they were in. Like, they weren't big time hustlers. So like, I don't know. Like, I mean, that's how I view it. Like, okay, they hit him enough. Maybe Kane thought he could talk some sense into him. Like, hey, like, we know you killed the daughter and it was because of this. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then after, like, I don't know. It just...
The plot isn't very solid. Everything kind of hinges on a thin read. Also, please correct me if I'm wrong, but was that Danny fucking Glover?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was the detective.
What is he doing in this movie?
I don't know. Because
I'm used to seeing Nick Cage pop up in Patriot Picture Productions because he needs the fucking money. Sure. But Danny fucking Glover? Come on.
And it felt like a very watered down him. Yeah. Everything actually in this movie felt very watered down. Yeah. Like, no one's character seemed genuine. They seemed like an approximation of something. So I mean, it wasn't a very strong script, if I'm being honest, either.
No, it's not.
Cage's acting was fine. It was fine. I don't think I'd call it good. It was fine. I also just kind of like I would really like for him to just embrace going bald. Because like, you can tell throughout this movie that his hairpiece keeps changing. And sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not. Also, interesting choice to use his son Weston as his body double for the younger version of himself. Because he really doesn't look like his dad.
Anything. He looks nothing like him.
No, he's just got the blue eyes. And, like, that's great. They both have iconic blue eyes, but that's, like, the only thing that... and, like, the height, I guess. Because they're both fucking tall as shit. But he looks nothing like him. I don't know. There were some odd choices in this movie. It wasn't as watchable as I would have wanted it to be. Because he does do a lot of these Patriot production movies that end up being, to a degree, rather watchable. This movie is not one of them. I don't know. I was bored by this movie. I was bored by this movie for the most part.
Yeah, I was too. So it has 13% on the tomato meter. What would you rate this movie, Megan? A through F?
I feel like that's accurate, and I'm like, I feel like this movie's a D.
Yeah, D for dud.
Yeah.
What would you rate the caginess of it?
Like, I'm honestly straight up D for him too in this movie.
Yeah.
This wasn't a very good role of his. He didn't seem connected to it. Not that anyone really seemed connected to their roles. It seemed very forced. The end of this movie kind of just took everything out of it for me because he just went on this rampage. And he's dead. Both of his buddies are dead. His old boss is dead. His daughter is dead. His wife is traumatized for life. The only person that comes out on top of this is Chernov because he got revenge for his dead brother.
Right.
But he's still going to go and be a fucking crime boss.
Yeah.
All because he didn't even think to look in his fucking closet. And he found out very early that this was a Russian pistol.
There is a scene where Kane comes to him and explains it's a Tokarev TT-13 and it's a Russian sidearm, and Nick Cage is like Kane even says, like, I know you're not big on guns, and he's like, yeah, I like knives better. And then he goes into the thing about the gun. I understand that it never crossed his mind to look at the guns that he has because he's not a gun person, but it is also a gaping fucking plot hole.
Like, huge. And clearly Kane seems to be a bit of a gun guy. He was there when they bundled up all of the shit from that night, including that gun that they took from the Russian mobster that they killed. Like, at some point, there has to be an admission that the math is not mathing on this one. So, like, there was a giant rampage, a whole, like, community is terrorized, several people are dead, including a child, and no one's having a good day in this movie. And it's also very boring. It's not, if it had been, like, action-packed or something, and this, I don't know, was, like, some kind of, like, moral testament, like, oh, he learned his lesson, but, like, it'd be great if you could learn a lesson without so many people fucking dying. And yourself.
No, and it was so boring that I was doing work while it was on. Like, it was not holding my attention.
At all. No, I was playing with my cats the whole time, just playing fetch. So,
well, there you have it, folks. It's a bit of a stinker. We give it a D all across the board. Thank you, dear listener, for sticking with us and listening to these episodes, as well as interacting with these episodes in any way you can. Like, share, subscribe, all of the fun things. We are on Patreon at Not the Bees. We are on Instagram at Not the Bees Pod. We are on all of your podcasting apps, including YouTube. But that's going to do it for us this week. I've been Elizabeth.
And I've been Megs.
We'll catch you next time.